Inserting blocks with attributes. We insert a block with attributes just like we would with one without. We go up to the Insert tab and we go to Block Insert and we just do the Insert command. We choose the block that we're interested in, such as phone, and we hit, we go down and pick which one we want, and we're going to insert it on our screen. We're going to specify the insertion point. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to place the block in the drawing where I want, and I pick. Now, on the command line, it'll say extension number, and I'm going to say 8863, and I'm going to hit enter. And what room is this in? I'm going to say it's in V113 West, and I'm going to hit enter. And employee name, and this is first and last. I'll say John Bordeaux, and I hit enter, and I place the information in, and you can see that the extension is right here. But a better method of doing this is to turn a system variable called ATTDIA. A couple things to note about system variables: that anything that has an attribute in a system variable is ATT, stands for attribute, and anything that's a dialog box of any kind has a DIA in it. So an ATTDIA is an attribute dialog box. So I type in ATTDIA, I hit enter, and it was set to 0. Let's set it to 1. I hit enter. Now when I go to insert another block, and I'll come over here and I'll say OK, and I'll pick the insertion point. Now it brings up a dialog box. This is a little handier because I can graphically see it better, and I'll say extension number, I'll say 8050. What room is this phone in? I'll say it's W102, and employee name first and last, I'll say it's Shelly Granger. And if I have more than what fits on the screen, it'll give me a next button. I can go to the next page, and I can back up pages with that. So this handles a lot of things. So this allows me to put them in if I want to put the employee name in first instead of the extension number, which I asked first. So this gives the user a lot more discretion. It's a little bit easier to read and do as far as how nice it is to edit. Also, if we have a field, we can click on a little button out next to it, and we can edit that field as well if we're using fields in our attributes. So when we're done, we can say OK, and now I ended up with my extension number being placed down here. So we insert blocks just like we normally would. I'll do one more insertion here. I'll do an insert block, and I can come over here to the motor. Remember the motor here, and I can say OK, and I get it's a little smaller here. I'll place it, and it'll ask me all those questions, and I can see what's the horsepower of the motor. I'm going to say it's 100. And do I know all this stuff? I can do it later if I want. I don't need to put it all in at this point, and I'll just say OK, and then I end up then with my my motor symbol. And I actually drew my motor symbol a little too small. I would need to fix that. So you always need to test your blocks with attributes, because you can see my number is bigger than my symbol. My symbol is drawn a little too small. Alright, so inserting blocks with attributes, we use the insert command up here in the insert tab.